Hello! Welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Well, it's now the last day of spring. Yeah, there's not that much time left. So I think what we're going to do is, well, I think just go to bed. We'll wake up in the next season in summer. And you never know, we might actually get an event, something exciting, something terrible, you never know. So let's give it a try and find out what happens. Because either way I'm going to get forced into the next season anyway. Nope. Nothing. Zip. Nada. Absolutely nothing except, oddly enough, it's another foggy day. I don't know whether this is... Well, hello. Morning, everybody. I don't know whether this is because I'm next to a river, but I've noticed of late it's nearly always foggy when I get up. So you go to bed and it's like foggy and it seems to be starting to clear off already, which is kind of freaky. Anyway. So, by the miracle of miracles, all our fields, they've all got crops in them, and they've all grown and they're all ready to be harvested. So I can leave that for Edmund to do. I better go and service that trap over there. But in terms of what we're going to be doing, I think it's about time we sorted out this sewing hood, because I've been putting it off. I mean, I've got all of the clothes that I need. None of the villagers need any clothes. So that's rot, by the way. That's from mushrooms and some berries and anything else that was left over that I felt I could just throw away, basically. We'll be able to turn this into fertiliser, although we've still got the pigs, and we'll get like a lot of fertiliser out of these cabbages as well once they get harvested, and I'll leave them to rot in the autumn. But yeah, I've been putting it off because technically we don't really need any clothes. The villagers don't need any clothes. Once we get it to the point where we've got like a market stall, we could use that to sell off clothes, for example. But the real reason I want one is, well, two reasons, I suppose. There's one, if we go over to production, yes, so it comes under production. So by having more people working on production buildings, that'll get me more passive production technology. I mean, you get better things as you go along. But yeah, 2,500 is what we need to get that market stall, so that's going to be really useful. No particular rush to get to a tavern, but yeah, I'm quite keen to get that. So that's another incentive to do that. But there's also, it's to do with the fact that I've got farmers, or rather at the moment I've got a farmer, and I have to keep servicing the bags for him. Every time his bags tend to run out. Yeah, Murphy's Law, I'm somewhere else on the map, and all of the farming just stops, you know. So if he's out, like having to put fertiliser in the fields, or he's having to put sow the crops, for example, well, if he doesn't have any bags, he can't do that. So yeah, things can stop, and then I've got to suddenly rush back and make sure that I help him and finish things off before the last day of the season. I mean, I'd imagine he'd be able to finish this off, because this is all the stuff to harvest, and there's not a great deal to plant this season, but there's going to be a lot of like fertilizer to put down, for example. Now, I've only got so many bags, but if I can get a sewing hood built, and I can, I'll need a house for the NPC, because at the moment I'm keeping all of the NPCs separate, because as soon as they start having kids, one of them, yeah, is out of commission for a while. Like our other half, Damrica, she's I think she's got about like another year. Once Ulrich gets to 2, then she'll be able to go back into the workforce. But until then, yeah, we can't use her to help around the village. So yeah. And another thing I found is that there's a limit on like how many people you can hire in a village. So if you've got like a lot of children being born, that has an impact, because it stops you being able to then hire new people unless you've got like a seriously high amount of dynasty reputation. There's a cap as to how many people you can hire. So that gives me a bit more of an incentive, really, to try to hire, you know, individuals living in their own homes for specific products, and then I'll add more people as we go along to increase the village size and improve things. But at the moment, I don't really want anybody out of commission, out of production. So yeah, I think that's what I really want to do, is get an actual sewing hut. So well, I don't think I can do it here. I mean, I haven't like built any palisades. I don't really have any plans because, as far as I'm aware, the bandits, for example, they don't attack you. I don't know if I can fit anybody here. I'll just out of curiosity, because I was looking down there. We're extending much further into there, I must admit. But out of curiosity, how big is one of these sewing huts? Oh, we need the logs first, but that's something I could try, because I mean we're edging up right up against the river there, so I don't know whether I'll be able to fit a house and a sewing hut along that little section. If not, I'll probably put it over there. Now, I noticed Edmund's putting his priority into turning this field over, so yeah, I might have to stop him at some point depending on how long he takes, because all of this needs harvesting. Then all the fertiliser needs to get done, and although there's only a small amount of crops to sow this season, I think it's possibly I wonder if it's the rye maybe. So that looks like oats down there. Yeah, so it looks like the rye's got to go in at some point. But the trouble is, when it comes to putting the fertiliser in, they'll just fertilise the entire fields. And that's 2 fields that'll need doing before they'll start to sow anything. Just out of curiosity, I think I'll grab a bag and I'll have a look at this, because we're into summer. And I want to find out what you can grow at this time of year. So if I put that into slot number 8, find out what it can actually grow this time round. Right, so what can we do this season? Oh, just cabbages anyway. Oh, so that's no big deal. Yeah, he says it's not a big deal, but there's quite a lot of cabbages he'd have to re-sow. Right, I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye on him. Anyway, first things first. I need to service this whole place. I need to make sure everybody's got enough tools. Maybe fill any gaps in the resources. Possibly the animal feed needs topping up. There's a few chores need doing first. I mean, I almost forgot I need to replace that trap as well. But yeah, priority number 1 really after that, well, priority number 2 in that case, and is to build our sewing hut and a house for somebody to actually live who's going to be doing the work. Well, we're back to having a lucky roll again, because we've come over here to Gostovia, because I'm looking for somebody who can do the actual sewing now, because we've got the house built and we've got the actual sewing hut built. And Alruna here, she's another NPC we found who's got 3 skills at level 3. So for her it's production, survival and extraction, so I think we'll hire her. I mean, Stomir over there, he's got level 3 in extraction, level 3 in production, but yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, you know, you can always move people around depending, you know, on needs and whatever. I mean, how old is she?
Hello.
She's 29.
See you soon.
I mean, I don't particularly need to be ageist, but
Have a good day.
yeah, I think we'll hire her.
How is life treating you?
Wonderful. I've got chickens and I've got geese now. Couldn't be better. Right, so let's just find out a bit more about her. Oh, she likes the rain. Okay, she likes to taste the rain. Fair enough. Oh, okay. What? 20? Oh, yeah. 29 is about old in medieval times. Well, that's not too bad, because I mean, she'll be working in the sewing hut anyway. Oh, so you prefer being a hunter? Oh, boo-bar. Well, I can't really answer that one. But anyway, unless you've got anything better to do, how about joining the village? Yay! So that's Alruna. Right, so she can go for a wander. Now that's... who's it? Bolomira. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Bolomira. So she's been working on the excavation. Now I thought she was just hanging around there and there was just nothing in the animation, but I've noticed she is actually going wandering around, and she's actually going where there are rock outcroppings, because I was coming back from Baranica one time and noticed she was hanging around here, or at least she was as it seemed on the map. And I did find some rock outcroppings, and there's times I've seen her wandering in this direction, but I've split up her roles a bit. I've got her now doing a bit of work on stone. Actually, I didn't want clay, it was limestone. Drat. The plan is, because I want to, I mean, technically I don't have a particular need to boost morale. It doesn't seem to be doing anything for whatever reason. It's certainly not boosting production on these people, but I may as well get it to collect some limestone, and then I can use that for the insulation, because the idea is I want to upgrade all these houses, put stone walls in, put better roofs in, and then we'll put the limestone in. Anybody else? Kitchen. Yeah, I'm still puzzling over this one, because she doesn't have, well, she doesn't have any onions, so that's fine, but she doesn't have any roasted meat either. And I'm scratching my head trying to figure out why the hunter's not up to anything, because if we look at the hunter, I mean, she's at level 4 now. So she's supposed to be focusing on these things. Now, none of them specifically say she needs a bow. But we don't seem to be doing particularly well on meat for some strange reason. And it doesn't specifically say she needs one. So as I say, I'm kind of like scratching my head here. We go into, if we go into storage, because I left a bow behind just on the off chance. Yeah, I left that bow, so that's mine. I left that behind on the off chance you just didn't have a bow and the game wasn't telling me. So yeah, I'm a bit puzzled about that. Anyway, I need to put her into a home. Where is she? So this is all in alphabetical order. So we'll assign her to the new house, and she can go into the sewing hut. So that's her assigned. So it needs somebody with production, so that's fine, because she's got level 3 in production. So in terms of the actual workload, at the moment most of it's locked out anyway. There's not a great deal I can do there. So what I've got to set up to do is basically work on the bags and on the water skins. But right, so the water skin needs needs linen. Now we can take the flax stalks, for example. I'll need to unlock this, so that's an option. We should actually have some flax stalks now. If we go back to the resource storage, and I'm gonna have to slowly work my way through here. So flax, I've got like a lot of flax stalks, so I could do that myself, which makes sense, because I'm pretty sure I get more experience out of this than if I let a villager do it. If the villager does it, I'll get some experience, passive experience, but if I do it myself, I'll get more. Plus the fact that it'll be done quickly. So yeah, I think we'll let her wander back. We'll probably beat her back, and we'll start thrashing anything that's still outstanding in the actual in the barn, because then I can then start making my own flax. But I did get an actual technology boost, I noticed. So we're now into 1000 on building technology, because I built a house and I built the actual sewing hut. So we've crossed over 1000 now. So we've now got access to a tier 2 resource storage if we want one. It's basically just bigger capacity. Still a good way off a mine though. I mean, yeah, 5000. Yowza. I mean, we could rip out like the hunting lodge, for example, and replace it with this one. I mean, that one allows you to have like 4 people working in it at a time. At the minute, I've only got one. I'm tempted to hire somebody else to help out because of the food shortage. Well, I say the food shortage, we just don't have that much meat around. We're actually not too far off hitting food storage level 2, but again, that's capacity. It's really 2000 I need to get to the horses. I mean, I could rip out the workshop and upgrade that. So again, more people, more access to clay cups, I suppose. Yeah, still quite a bit to do, but we need to head back to the village first. Well, it's another foggy day, and well, we seem to have a bit of a problem with food now. I mean, I came back here and I started thrashing all of the actual flax, and I unlocked some schemas on here, so we can actually start making linen fabric, for example. We can actually make linen thread as well. So I can turn the flax stalk into linen thread, and then you can make linen fabric. I did that so that we can actually then start making the bags, which are better, they're more durable, but also things like water skins, for example. So that'll be useful because we get a bit of a problem with the well at the moment where we're not producing enough baskets, for example. So at least the not baskets, the buckets. So if we produce some of each, that might help. But the bigger problem is we've run out of food apparently. I mean, I was just having a look on here. It says food 0, demand 420. Now, I've still no idea what's going on with the hunting, because last time I saw her, she was either standing around doing nothing or she was sweeping the floor of the actual cabin. I mean, she's not like actually missing anything. It doesn't specifically say she's missing anything. I mean, I've changed her over a bit. I've tried to put more effort into getting her to spend more time on hunting meat. And I had a quick look around, and it looked like there was at least some animals in the vicinity. So I don't think she's just like run out of animals to hunt. But what I've done in the meantime, I thought, well, given that we're running out of food, I've unlocked the cabbages, and I've actually harvested some. So that's something that people can at least eat. If we come into here, originally I was restricting them. I was blocking them off from being able to access the cabbages because I wanted to use those for rot. So hopefully that might help a bit. But yeah, I'm a bit puzzled over this. I mean, the place still works. As I say, I mean, I did leave a bow in the actual in the storage. I actually made some extra knives as well in case it was something like that. So I'm a bit puzzled as to what she's up to. So in the meantime, what I've done is I've built another house over here because I'm gonna go out and hire somebody. I mean, I can see the counter's starting to go up and down a bit, so they must be going and grabbing the cabbages by the looks of it. Actually, did I put it in the right place? That might be why. We'll put that in the food storage because that's where they'll be looking for cabbages. Not here. This is the barn. It's the food storage. Right, we'll put the cabbages in here because we're pretty much right out of meat. That's what the problem is. Because up till now we've been heavily dependent on either meat or raw meat. Right, so at least there's another rabbit, so I can add a bit more meat to the pile there. So cabbages are down to about 82 now, so that at least keeps me going over. But I think what I'll do, as I say, I mean, I've built that extra house because I want to hire somebody else. I could Gertrude's house there, I think. Yeah, that's Gertrude. She's a hunter. She's actually up to level 4 as well. So has she gone to work yet? Because I've deliberately kept this area kind of clear, where I haven't started chopping trees down. And the last time I was over here, there was animals over here, so she should at least go looking for them. You see, she's just standing around. It is possible we've just literally like exhausted the area and there's none around. And that is one thought. But without any meat, we're kind of stuck. Because I think there's only a certain like range that these these different buildings you build. I think there's only a certain range that they've got. What the heck was that? I can hear something and it's really weird. It's seriously freak. I mean, not the woodpecker, it's something else. It was a weird screeching noise. Maybe, maybe she came out here, heard that, and ran away. I'm seriously stumped because there's a lynx over there. I mean, there's some deer over there. So unless it's... Oh, there she is. Now she's going out. I mean, that is a possibility. It could well be. It's just... There's just nothing left in the range. We go to... And we're up to level 2. I mean, all it says is that it's more capacious and more sturdy. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's got a longer range, but that's a possibility. But either way, I'm going to hire somebody else because the demand of the food is 420. I mean, we're at about 590. She produces about 77 food as far as I recall, or 77 meat. There's enough room there for 2 people, so I think it makes sense for me to at least go out and get somebody else now that I've built that house, to then see if that starts to bring more meat in, because I really want to keep that cabbage for rot. I mean, yeah, we've got pigs and we'll get more fertiliser as time goes by. But yeah, it's a bit frustrating, that. So anyway, we need to go and find somebody. Well, we're over in Veronica, and I found Wilburger over here because she's got. I keep pressing the F key instead of the E key, just because some games it's the F key. But never mind. Yeah, she's got at least a level 3 in hunting, so I think we'll hire her and see if we can help fix this food problem.
Hello.
So, yeah, hello. Let's see, what's on your mind? Yeah, we're back with that cat problem again, aren't we? How's your day been going? Yeah, 29 again. I seem to be hiring a lot of older people for some strange reason. Oh, good. So she does like hunting, so we're on a bit of a bonus there then. Okay, fair enough. So I think we'll try and hire her. Great. So off you go. It sounds nuts hiring somebody when you don't have enough food, basically. But the point is, I need somebody to get more food. So we'll allocate her to that new building. Put her in that one there. And she can go into the hunting lodge because there's capacity for 2 people. Right, so that gives me now 2 people to do hunting. So if we go back to the hunting lodge, so the 2 of them can do the hunting. Between the 2 of them, we should get 134. So I think what I'll do is I'll roll back a bit on the furs and the leathers, because for me, I really need to pile on the effort and get them producing meat if they can. Now whether that'll keep up, because that's 150 is the daily expectation, but our demand is 420, so I don't know if that's enough. I mean, for now I might have to just keep putting up with the fact that we've got to supply them with cabbages. And speaking of which, there's still all that harvesting to do, and this is the last day of summer, so I'm going to have to go back and help Edmund finish that. Although I could get the other 2 to help out, I suppose, the other 2 farmers, but yeah, I think for now, I think we've got the time, so I think I'll just finish the rest of that off myself. Well, I've managed to get back in time to help out with the fields, so I mean they're almost done. It's no particular rush to completely finish them. I mean, I came back and I basically just harvested all of the actual cabbages here. Then I harvested all of the onions, and then round about by that time Edmund had finished with this field here where he put all the fertiliser in and ploughed that in, and then the two of us managed to start re-fertilising this section where the cabbages go, and then I've just been basically putting the seeds in while he's been working on the onions over here. So he's got so far where he's started putting the fertiliser in at least, and he's started to plough some of it in, but in case of time's up, he's down tools and he's gone home. He's standing outside of his home. He's had enough. But it's I'm not quite sure what's going on, to be honest, because let's see, she's not back yet, so at least I'm assuming that's not Bolomira. I think that's Alruna. No, it's Alruna's the seamster who we've just hired. Wilburga's the hunter. So that must be Bolomira then. She's still over there. Okay, so it looks like she did get back then. Because I made it back here long before she did. And I mean, next thing I knew, it was a case of we were up to 40 something meat. We're actually up to about 82 and we've got 295 cabbages. So, I mean, for now we've kind of dodged the hunger. I mean, we've gone from like 0 to 3,381 in terms of food that we've got in storage. So, I mean, I'm going to keep some of those cabbages to one side. I'll get quite a few cabbages again because I've planted them this season. I mean, I can't remember exactly when they'll come back up, but I'm going to have to keep some aside just because of that strange thing going on with the meat. Now, out of curiosity, how we're doing for manure? Have we got any more? Yeah, that was another thing I noticed. We were running out of firewood because I've been basically hiring all these extra people, but I'm not keeping up with that demand. I may as well grab the manure and convert that over to fertilizer because I've been doing like a lot of thrashing and what have you. I mean, we're now up to, well, we've crossed the 1,000 threshold. We're up to tier 2 for food storage now, 1,043. Still a good way off being able to get a horse, but I think what I'll do is I'll keep some of these cabbages for next season. Just on the off chance there's not enough food to go around. But I think I'll just basically drop, say, about 195. We'll just have to see how it goes. So we'll drop those. So that's 194 cabbages. Okay. Did I pick? I only dropped one. Okay, fair enough. Right, that explains a lot. I keep forgetting. I'm pressing the wrong keys. That's why. Right, so we should get a reasonable amount of rot out of those, and then in the meantime we've got the pigs producing our manure anyway. But yeah, it's almost the end of the day. Not that much longer left to go. But I mean, we've made some progress because we're getting the actual sowing hut, which means we can actually make better bags. Because I noticed while I was going around the field, I was using a proper bag rather than a simple bag. Now that one's made partly out of linen, partly out of leather. That just survived, no problems. They just don't seem to last, the simple bags at all. Oddly enough, I've also noticed we've got like tons and tons of stone hose for some reason. That was something it's one of the tools I get the actual smithy to actually make, so there's not that big a demand, so I'm obviously outstripping the supply by the looks of it. You know, with the demand's just much smaller than the actual what we're supplying, so I might tone that down a bit. But I do need to find something to fix that problem with the logs, because I think we're not converting enough logs into firewood, and that's going to be a problem as well, especially if you're going into winter. I mean, we're in the summer and there's only one firewood left, so there's obviously definitely not enough of those we're producing. So This is the trouble, because I went out in a big rush and I got a lot of people, and I haven't sort of like covered all of the bases, so we've got lots more people. I haven't been keeping up with that demand, so I can say I probably need another farmer as well to help in that field, because we ran out of time. So obviously spring and summer are busy, autumn not so much, winter is just going to be extremely quiet. But you know, 24/7, 365 days a year, I still need people to look after that. Hello. We've got a new skill in farming. That's handy. What will we put that into then? I mean, farming master, skilled farmer. That would be useful. That one, we'll put it into there then. Yeah, lost the plot now. But yeah, I mean, I've got to keep them looking after the animals, you know, 24/7. I suppose you could pull people out of the fields, and what do you put them into? I suppose that's a question. The trouble is, I don't really like the micromanagement side of it. I'm trying to avoid that. I don't really mind if I've got a farmer just standing around doing nothing for most of the time. Let's grab that, because although it's still quite a ways to go before the day ends. So yeah, I'm just thinking where to go next, because there's obviously still quite some gaps to fill here. I mean, if we go over to the woodshed, I mean, is the capacity? See, there's only enough capacity for one person in that tier 1 woodshed. I mean, we're producing. We've got a spare capacity of about 6. Now I think I'm starting to end up with a lot more logs than I originally anticipated. So that's something I could scale back on the logs, because not the logs, the planks I should say, because we ended up with quite a lot of planks in here, I noticed. So I could get them to scale back on the planks. Yeah, we've got about 71, because they're just normally like a one-off. You only really need those when you're doing the building. And I do want to go around all of these houses and basically convert them all over to stone and put limestone insulation in. So I suppose, yeah, we could scale back a bit on the logs, but did we get to tier 2? I think we. No, we're not at tier 2. Rats, I thought might have been at that one. Right, in which case we'll get them to scale back a bit on the planks, because there's no. Right this very minute I don't need one. I mean, the next episode I probably will need a lot. So it's just like Murphy's Law. Right, so we'll tell them to scale back to do just the 1 log. Definitely need more firewood though. I'll scale back that to 13. That means we're producing just a slight extra capacity. So that means there's more firewood coming in. How are we doing for sticks? Bearing in mind, I think we're running out of sticks as well. That's another problem. It's another sore point. There's just not enough sticks, so we end up with quite a lot of logs. There's not enough sticks, so I may as well convert these over. But yeah, there's still quite a ways to do, because I've covered most of the things that need to be done within the village, so we're pretty self-sufficient, I'd say. I'm going to try and plug these gaps, which kind of, yeah, gets me thinking. I mean, you could sort of like build extra buildings, for example, because that woodshed, I can only cover for 1 person, unfortunately, so I'm probably going to have to end up building another woodcutters to sort of like gather more wood and convert that over into the firewood, for example, and get more sticks, for instance. We'll have to see how we go when it comes to the hunter, because at the moment we seem to be okay on food, but yeah, I still haven't figured out why all of a sudden we just suddenly ran out of food. Because although we've got a cook over there who's like converting the meat, I mean, they're just most of the time they're not producing that much meat and gravy. because quite a lot of the time they were actually running out of onions anyway. And if you think about it, they're converting probably about 1 meat and gravy a day, so we're losing only 1 roasted meat, and you get 1 roasted meat for every 1 meat. So it's not as if they're like wasting the amount of meat just to sort of get me my meat and gravy. There's more to it than that. I mean, I suppose I could really do with somebody who does the fishing. That's another an area, because you get a lot of meat out of fishing, so that's another way I could plug that gap. But yeah, it's almost the end of the day. There's still a lot to think about. But that's all for another episode.